I get calls from prospective buyers saying they want to move to Boise, Idaho. Then, as we continue to talk, they'll say something about Eagle, Idaho, assuming that the two are almost interchangeable. They are not. So what is the difference between living in Boise, Idaho and Eagle, Idaho? In this video, I will cover 5 major differences between these two cities. I say 5, but obviously there are subcategories in each of these main categories that help define what make up these cities. So what will I be covering today? Size and infrastructure, business and shopping, the housing market and cost of living, schools, and recreation. But before I get started, let me put this disclaimer out there. You can't really compare these two cities. It's not apples to apples, but I'll do it for today. The only thing they really have in common is they both fall within Ada County. And here's a fun fact. The city of Boise is not actually found in Boise County. Boise is essentially Idaho's equivalent of a major metropolitan area, whereas Eagle is more of a sleepy suburb outside the big city. But comparing these two is a question I always get when people are considering a move to the Boise area. So let's explore the differences between living in Boise, Idaho versus Eagle, Idaho. Boise is the capital city of Idaho. It's also the state's largest city with a population of over 240,000 people. It's spread across a large landmass, so the city of Boise itself is bigger than it might otherwise seem. Often people assume it's only downtown and the university, when really Boise spreads out in every direction. Boise has a vibrant downtown that is home to major businesses, restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. And the state's capital, it's right in the middle of it. So it really does look like this major city with high rises and clustered buildings. And I say high rise totally tongue-in-cheek because our tallest building in the whole state, mind you, is Zion's Bank Building at 323 feet tall. That's only 18 stories tall. So it's Idaho's version of a high rise. Downtown Boise mixes business, art, food, all into this safe, walkable city center. And right across the river is Boise State University. So then you add this college town element. But I'll discuss BSU a little later in the video when I talk more about schools. Boise is also home to our major hospital systems, St. Luke's and St. Alphonsus, and also our VA hospital. Yes, there are medical services spread out across the valley, but if you're in need of major medical services, chances are you'll be at one of the Boise-based hospitals, especially if you need a specialist. If you are flying into the area on a major airliner, your only option is the Boise airport. It's a joint civilian military airport, so it's not uncommon to see A-10s, F-18s, Blackhawks, Chinooks in the Boise sky or at the airfield when you're departing or landing. It's not a major airline like you'd find in Los Angeles or Denver. This is a smaller, quieter airport with 8 airlines serving 25 nonstop destinations. So we aren't talking a lot of options, but it will get you to those major airport hubs fairly easily. As a side note, I do have a video that talks about the pros and cons of living in Boise, Idaho, and I happen to reference our airport in that. I recommend checking that out for more info on what you may or may not like about living in Boise, Idaho. Boise has its own police department, the Boise PD, and Boise enjoys a lower overall crime rate when compared to the national average. And downtown is a perfect reflection of that. It's clean, safe, walkable, even late at night. Now, when we travel 12 miles west of downtown Boise, we stumble upon the city of Eagle, Idaho. In contrast, Eagle is a much smaller city with a population of only around 30,000 compared to Boise's 240,000. The smaller size gives Eagle a small town feel. Eagle has this quaint and super charming historic downtown. There are restaurants, bars, boutiques, but it's small. Often, I'll need to direct out-of-towners to where it is because you might not pass through it otherwise. With Eagle being a smaller community, it hosts a variety of seasonal events downtown, from a farmer's market to holiday festivals to the infamous Eagle Fun Days in July, where the main street shuts down and the town turns into one big water fight. Eagle has emergency rooms staffed by the major hospitals, and it has other independent urgent cares that can triage health emergencies, but anything major and you'll be transferred to the Boise area hospitals because Eagle doesn't have any of its own hospital facilities. Eagle is patrolled by the Ada County Sheriff's Department, and Eagle enjoys an even lower crime rate than Boise, but it's also 1/6 of the size, and its largest demographic is comprised of empty nesters and family. So the safety and security you find in Eagle is not surprising. Being the capital city, Boise is a major economic center in Idaho. It has a variety of businesses and is home to several corporate headquarters like Albertsons and Winco Holdings, or technology companies like Micron and HP. It also has this burgeoning startup scene because the state as a whole is very business friendly. Boise shopping can be a bit limited, but it's the best you'll find in the state. There is the Boise Town Square Mall, which is one of the largest shopping centers in Idaho. But remember, this is Idaho. So when I say largest in the state, it does not mean it compares to what you'd find in major cities across the country. Yes, it has retail outlets, department stores, and restaurants, but no Nordstrom's, if that gives you a reference. That is a question I get a lot from people moving from California and Washington. Then you have the city's downtown area, which is a treasure trove of unique boutiques and shops. And that's perfect for those who want to shop locally. In Boise, you'll find Costco, car dealerships, furniture stores. So Eagle is primarily a residential community. It doesn't have the large corporate presence like Boise, but you will find businesses such as Lamb Weston or the corporate headquarters for Pet IQ, and a branch office for Intuit. Many of the Eagle residents, though, end up having to commute to Boise for work, taking advantage of the short distance between the two cities. Eagle provides a more low-key shopping experience with its charming small-town atmosphere. You'll find locally owned stores and boutiques scattered throughout the city, offering a range of goods and specialty items. Before I continue, my name is Erica Toffel, Global Real Estate Advisor with Group 1 Sotheby's International Realty. I specialize in helping you relocate to Boise or Eagle, Idaho. If you need help with any of your real estate needs, reach out. My information is on the screen. And make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. And if you're watching on your TV, scan the QR code that is located on your screen. Because of Boise's large size, it will naturally have a more diverse range of housing options and a greater breadth of everyday living options. There are so many communities throughout Boise, from the Boise Bench and the Central Bench and the West Bench to Warm Springs and Barber Valley to East End to the West Valley to West Boise. Remember, I said that Boise is very spread out. You can find 1 and 2 bedroom condos in Boise, all the way up to multi-million-dollar residential estates in the foothills. 16% of the market is priced below $400,000, which offers great entry-level opportunities or investment options. 20% of its listings are over $1 million, and nearly 50% of all of the listings fall within what I would define as an average price point for the Boise market of $400,000 to $700,000. Because of Boise's size, you will find a lot of apartment living options too. There are 1 bedrooms for under $1,000, and there's going to be everything in between, all the way up to larger apartments for $3,500, depending on the location and the size. Cost of living is going to be fairly universal across the Treasure Valley with regards to utilities, groceries, gas, whether you live in Boise or Eagle. But property taxes in Boise will run more. Different areas in Boise will have different taxing districts, and that can increase the amount of property tax you pay even more. For example, a total levy for a home in Southeast Boise may be just shy of 1% of your assessed property value. But if you live in Northeast Boise in a newer area like Harris Ranch, your taxes will be over 1.2% to account for the common interest development tax. Eagle offers smaller housing market than Boise, but that being said, over half of the Eagle market, properties are over $1 million. So the home market in Eagle, it trends higher, but again, it's only a sixth of the size of Boise. 30% of its listings fall within that average price point that I had mentioned before for Ada County of $400,000 to $700,000. And it's pretty hard to find a listing in Eagle under $400,000. An occasional townhome may pop up, but typically you aren't looking in Eagle for an entry-level home into the housing market. Eagle has limited apartment options too. One bedroom would generally start around $1,300 to $1,400. If you need a larger apartment, then you're looking at $4,000 and up. And at that point, you might be interested in an executive rental home in Eagle instead. And I do have a video that talks about investing in Boise and the surrounding area. So if you're looking to relocate but aren't ready to buy, that video may help provide some insight on where investors are buying rentals. Despite Eagle having a higher priced home market compared to Boise's home market as a whole, Eagle enjoys a more reasonable property tax burden at less than 0.5%. So if you're in the market for a luxury home, that can be a huge tax savings on those higher end properties. Here's a pop quiz. The city of Eagle has its own police department. True or false? First one with the correct answer will get a video reply from me. Boise is home to Boise State University and its infamous blue turf football field. The university creates that college town feel that spreads out into Boise proper, especially with it being adjacent to downtown Boise. Boise also has its own school district with 5 public high schools, 8 middle schools, and 33 elementary schools. You'll also find a number of popular private school options such as St. Mark's or Bishop Kelly High School, or international schools like Riverstone and Sage. Eagle, on the other hand, is just a portion of the West Ada School District. It has 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. There are a few private school options available in town, but they are on a smaller scale and usually only go up through 8th grade. It's not uncommon for Eagle residents to commute into Boise for private school if that's what's right for their family. Boise has a lot of recreational activities within its city limits. One of the main attractions is the Boise River and its 25-mile-long greenbelt that follows the river throughout the city. You can float the river, you can fish the river, bike the greenbelt alongside it, and there are places to stop all along the trail if you want to eat, grab a coffee, or a glass of wine. So at the far east end of the greenbelt, you'll find Lucky Peak State Park with a 3,000-acre lake. There you can boat, swim, fish, and this is only a 10 or 15-minute drive from downtown, or you can even bike there on the greenbelt. Also along the greenbelt, you'd find the Boise Zoo, the Anne Frank Human Rights Memorial, Boise Whitewater Park, where surfers ride artificial river waves, the MK Nature Center showcasing local wildlife, Simplot Park and Quinn's Pond, where you can paddleboard and raft, and Julia Davis Park. And that's not even all of it. The Greenbelt provides access to so many different recreational activities. Boise also has its own ski mountain. Well, sort of. The Bogus Basin ski area is technically in Boise County and not in the city of Boise. And as I mentioned at the start of this video, the city of Boise is in Ada County and not in Boise County, but it's only 15 miles north of the city center in the Boise National Forest, and it's all Boise by name anyway. So Boise residents will pop up there all winter long for skiing and snowboarding, and they have night skiing too, so depending on where you live in the valley, you can see the mountain all lit up during those colder months. It's pretty cool. Eagle also shares in the west end of the Boise River Greenbelt and the Boise River, which happens to be a large attraction for the city as a whole because of its easy accessibility to the river and the Greenbelt. And I do have a few videos that take a deeper dive into the city of Eagle, so be sure to check those out. Eagle has to share Boise's ski mountain at Bogus Basin. It does have a ski hill at Eagle State Park, so that's something, but otherwise you're driving 70 to 90 miles north to either Tamarack or Brundage Ski Mountain. And unlike Boise, Eagle does not have its own lake for boating, but it does have Eagle Island State Park, which I just mentioned a moment ago. It's a 545-acre park in the middle of Eagle where you can swim, picnic, hike, horseback ride. There's a disc golf course, a water slide in the summer, and a terrain park and tubing hill in the winter. Both Boise and Eagle are exceptional places to call home in this beautiful state of Idaho. Really, the choice between the two comes down to your lifestyle preference and your priorities. Boise is this dynamic city with a larger and more diverse population, more job opportunities, and a bustling downtown. In contrast, Eagle offers a quieter small town vibe that focuses on community and family. Whatever your choice is though, both cities share that natural beauty, outdoor adventure, and security that Idaho provides. For more videos about relocating to Boise or Eagle, Idaho, or for more real estate tips in general, make sure to check out one of the videos on the screen. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.